Hello, 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 folks. Welcome to a very special, very special episode of Spring Fever. As always, it is me, XFL Jim.
You want it? I'm gonna give it to you right now.
That's right. We're gonna fucking give it to you. We're gonna give it to you right here, right now. Joined, as always, of course, by the man, the myth, the legend. It's Eric, the incomparable man himself, Uncle Rico.
I don't know. There's just a lot of trying after play. We're trying to make some stuff happen, and they're doing a little extra pushing and shoving. We're trying to get our fucking job done. They're just...
Shout out Michigan Panther Pride over on the YouTube. This is a great time to be alive, a great time to celebrate spring football. But before we do any of that, of course, before we get to the hype, we're going to talk CFL, we're going to talk UFL, we're going to talk championship, we're going to talk conference championship recaps, we're going to talk UFL championship preview. But before we do any of that, we have to pay the bills. We have to shout out the boys over at Royal Retros. Of course, Royal Retros, the best place around to get the merch that you want, that you need, that you have to have. CFL merch, USFL merch back in the day, XFL merch back in the day, UFL merch, their merch, in my opinion, and Royal Retros isn't saying this, I'm saying this, their merch, in my opinion, cheaper, better quality than the actual UFL merch. It's great. Go get a DC Defenders t-shirt, go get a Michigan Panthers t-shirt, and when you do it, make sure you use promo code SPRINGFEVER. All one word, all caps, for 10% off at checkout. Royal Retros. Tell them Jim sent you, damn it. Tell them I sent you. It's a great time to be a Michigan Panthers fan. It's a great time to be a fan of football. We got to experience a full weekend. A full weekend of football, baby. Let's. Eric's having a little bit of an internet issue. Let's see if he's back. Is it working?
I have no idea what's going on, dude. You know, I pay way too goddamn much money to Xfinity for this shit. Whatever. I'm back.
I was just getting started, Eric. I was just about to talk about the wonderful weekend we had. We're going to talk a little CFL first, and then we're going to dedicate everything in this episode to the United Football League, Eric. So the CFL started week 1. Shout out Saskatchewan, Montreal, Calgary, and BC. All for getting the dubs. BC dominated Edmonton, by the way. Dominated. Did you watch?
That surprise you? A lot of people are hyping up Edmonton.
I liked Edmonton. I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people hyping up the Elks. Let's see. I mean, obviously, it's hard not to. People want to believe in Trey Ford. The Canadian, like this game had everything that people wanted. People were also kind of like down on BC just because people were down on Nathan Rourke. And people wanted to, like, fade him and like, kind of not believe. But the dude's a stud.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not dead on Edmonton. I do think they can be better. But this is an organization that for the last, like, 3 or 4 years has just been downtrodden and just straight up not good. So it's tough. It's tough. The bigger disappointment for me, I think the biggest disappointment in the CFL for me was Toronto. Easily. Laying an egg. 10-28. Did you lose by 18?
I mean, do you feel that's just them starting the season flat?
You come off of a Grey Cup win. I feel like this is also Nick Arbuckle coming to, like, the center. He played so well at the end of last year. He obviously isn't going to be able to keep that up. He threw 2 picks in this one. Kind of like back-breaking picks, too. But shout out Davis Alexander. Montreal starts the season hot. Has always been like a consistent threat. Mm-hmm. And I love them. The defense is stellar for the Alouettes. It will continue to be. And also, I want to shout out the CFL. They banned the horns in Montreal. They banned the air horns. For those of you, I know Eric doesn't watch football. He's not really a sports guy. So for anyone who like was a very like frequent viewer of the CFL, especially last year, it felt like Montreal has these air horns that they just go crazy with. Every game, all game. It's like the equivalent I would put it is like Mississippi State with the cowbells
Okay.
in college football.
Okay.
It's just obnoxious. It's so loud. You can't hear the announcers sometimes on the TV. It's so bad.
Jesus. Okay.
So they banned those. A couple other changes like reared their heads. There's some issues with some of the tackling rules that they have. I'm waiting to see how that plays out through a couple more games. And I just need to set this aside and kind of like mention this. As a league, you're the Canadian Football League. As a league, how do you not have at some point in week 1 a rematch of the Grey Cup?
That early in the season, though?
Doesn't the NFL do it week 1 usually? Like sometimes you see rematches of like the Super Bowl opponents.
Not really. I don't even remember the last time they happened.
I thought it happened like last year, didn't it? No, it was the Lions that played the Chiefs.
That was 2 years ago. The Lions played the Chiefs.
Super Bowl week 1 rematches. I'm probably not looking this up. Right? So they play week 2. Like the Chiefs play week 2.
Yeah.
They play the Eagles.
It's not week 1 though, Jim. You're talking week 1.
I don't know. I would have had it week 1. I don't know if I would have had it game 1, but I would have had it week 1 for sure. Looking ahead real quick, just to get through the CFL, we'll breeze through these. Thursday, tomorrow, if you're listening to this late, you might be today, BC, Winnipeg. The line keeps climbing. It's BC minus 3.5. Winnipeg's home opener, over under 48.5, plus 154 on the money line for the Bombers. Eric, what are you feeling?
I mean, look, I found this trend where teams that didn't play week 1 that are dogs playing a team that did play week 2, 3% ROI the last 15 years. I'm all about that. It's just a simple thing. We do it in college football all the time. There's film on these teams now that played versus teams that didn't play. So I know these guys are used to each other, BC and Winnipeg, but they have film, which is going to be huge. I know Winnipeg is going to be missing some defensive starters, but I am all about Winnipeg. I'm going to wait, though. I'm going to see if I can get a 4. I'm just going to wait in the market, wait for it to climb up a little bit.
That trend did work for you last year, especially week 1. So week 1, Winnipeg loses to Montreal in the opener. Then they go play Ottawa. Ottawa were dogs in that one. Ottawa wins outright, 23-19 last year. Yep. Jeff asking, does Canada have indoor football, or is that crap isolated to the U.S.? I believe arena and indoor football is only a United States thing. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Game number, I don't know whether I want to jump on this train with Eric or if I want to take BC here, because historically BC has started seasons very, very red hot, and Winnipeg recently has started very slow. You know what? I'm seeing like a minus 105 for 3.5. Give me the minus 3.5 for BC. I'll do it.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're probably going to be able to get a 4, dude.
Yeah, why would I'm taking the minus, though. I don't want a 4. Maybe at plus money.
You're taking BC?
Yeah, I'm taking BC. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fade your trade, Eric.
Are we going to have a T-shirt bet? Fucking week 2?
Not right away, Eric. We'll have a T-shirt bet on a week of more import in the CFL.
Okay.
Not right now. The CFL is taking a back seat at the moment.
Okay.
Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Montreal versus Ottawa. The Alouettes versus the Red Blacks. The Montreal Alouettes are 3.5-point road favorites, over under 45.5, plus 150 on the money line for the Red Blacks. Eric.
So, I mean, to me, this says take the Red Blacks. You know, they're coming off loss. Start the season. You got Montreal coming off that big win over Toronto. What did you say was that? I'm sorry. When I looked at openers, it was at 1.5. What is it up to now?
It is, again, 3.5. This
So
one,
that means
this
it's moved
one's
too.
climbed.
So again, I'm just gonna sit on this. I'm gonna take the Red Blacks probably the day of. Hopefully I can. Just it just keeps climbing, just because
It
to me,
does.
it's just a week to week league. So
It looks like 4 is probably on the table.
yeah,
I
it's just
will
week to
say
week.
this. Last week, like Saskatchewan let them in that game more than Ottawa probably deserved. I don't know if that score really indicates how much of a blowout it should have been, but
But I mean,
Saskatchewan.
betting is all about just the market, and right now the market is overrating Montreal in my eyes because of the win over Toronto. So I'm gonna let the market move a little bit, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take take Ottawa.
I'm gonna take the under in this one for sure, under 45.5. I actually do like
Oh,
Ottawa
Zach
in this
Canaros
spot.
Canaros is suspended.
Oh, does Kolaros fully get suspended? That would be why. Okay, but Strevler showed in part last year that that he could lead that offense pretty nicely.
Okay, and Drew Brown was limited at practice on Monday as he deals with a hip issue.
Okay, that would explain the lines. That 100% explains the lines. So I'm taking Montreal then. Because Eric, do you want to venture a guess on who the Ottawa Red Blacks backup quarterback would be?
I have no idea.
You don't even want to guess.
Who's the guy from Notre Dame that played in the UFL that you couldn't stand?
Nope. It's your boy, dude. It's Dustin Crum.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Dustin Crum. It could be Matt Schiltz. It could be Matt Schiltz, who we saw in spurts succeed at Hamilton last year, but I assume they're probably going to try out Dustin Crum. I'll actually take Montreal minus the 3.5 then. So I'm on 2 favorites here. 2 road favorites. I feel fucking gross. Saturday, June 14th in the early matchup. Calgary versus Toronto. The Stampeders are 1.5 point road dogs to the favorites in Toronto. The Argonauts are 1.5 point favorites. Over under is 50.5 plus 110 on the money line for the Stamps. Eric, what are you feeling? What's piquing your interest here?
I mean, for me, I definitely kind of look toward Toronto, just because looking to bounce back spot. Playing at home opener. And you have the Stamps coming off that big win over who the hell they play? Hamilton.
Yes, also confirming Drew Brown out. He will not play.
Drew Brown 100% out?
He is 100% out. The coach said he will not dress this week.
Oh, then
it'll be Matthew Schiltz. So not Crum.
I am definitely going to be on the whatchamacallits then, the Red Blacks.
You will be on the Red Blacks with no Drew Brown.
The line's gonna rise, Jim. The line's gonna rise.
It will. Yes, I will be on Toronto minus this 1.5 as well. Calgary. Do I though? Do I? Eric, are we just gonna disagree on every pick?
Why? What's that?
Because I kind of want to take Calgary here. Vernon Adams. I'm going to bet the over. I'm going to bet over 50.5. I'm going to bet Toronto minus the 1.5. Boom. That's my bet.
Okay.
That's my bet.
Respect.
That's going to be a great game.
I respect.
Too bad I'm not going to watch it because I'm going to be tailgating the UFL championship game. That's going to be a great game. And then 6 p.m., Saskatchewan Roughriders versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Roughriders are 3-point road favorites over under 51.5 plus 136 on the money line for the Ticats.
So Ticats are always that team I always want to believe in, and I always bet them, and they always disappoint me.
They are that team. They've been that team for me too.
Again, early season home dog, coming off a week 1 loss, which was kind of competitive. I would probably take all home teams this week. I'm not gonna lie. Tiger Cats, Blacks, and Blue Bombers.
God, dude. They got embarrassed by the Stampeders. Obviously, I trust Bo Levi Mitchell to put up yards. He went 31 for 50 last week.
Respect.
Their leading receiver had 14 yards.
Jesus.
Sorry, the rusher. Their leading rusher had 14 yards. Their leading receiver had 87. Of course, it was Kenny Lawler. I'm reading things wrong. It's because their leading receiver was a wide receiver who had one rush for 14 yards. And then Greg Bell, the fullback. So, if Hamilton can't have any sort of run game going, I kind of do like Saskatchewan here. And that defense. Like, Bo Levi Mitchell is not an escaping kind of quarterback. He's going to be in the pocket. He's going to try and throw on you. Give me those Rough Riders. Give me the Rough Riders here. -3 on the road. I don't care. I do not care. I'm taking all the road teams except for Toronto. And I'm disgusted with myself, Eric. I'm taking all the favorites.
You should be disgusted with yourself.
That is disgusting.
Jim, you should be utterly disgusted with yourself.
I am on Winnipeg. Sorry, I'm on BC -3.5.
I don't even know how you can look at yourself in the mirror.
I'm on BC -3.5, Montreal -3.5, Toronto -1.5, and Saskatchewan -3. That's disgusting. Let's see how I do. I'm disgusted with myself. It'll probably be my best weekend. That's fucking gross, though. I don't know. I can't believe I came to that conclusion.
I don't even know how you can look at yourself in the mirror.
Very nice. I feel like I look pretty good. I do need to shave. I need to shave.
Yeah, I need to shave.
Game. Now, Eric, it is time to go back to the world. We go back in time to Conference Championship Weekend in the UFL. We had the USFL Conference Championship. We had the XFL Conference Championship. These names might be going away soon.
What do you feel about that? You know, I saw you tweeting about that a little bit. What do you feel?
About the rumblings that they might be getting rid of the USFL and XFL like conferences and naming them something else like North, South, East, West, or whatever. Obviously, I'm not a fan. I love that they're like kind of holding. This is I'm gonna have a whole off-season thing on like things I love, things I dislove. But this is one of the things I love. I love that the UFL is doing this and kind of like embracing the history. But I understand that it might create in the casual fan's mind some confusion. Like when you think of the league, I've heard so many times on like some sports podcasts when they're discussing like other sports and they bring up the UFL. There's like, oh, the XFL or oh, the USFL, and then someone corrects them like, no, it's the UFL. I feel like those things come to people's heads maybe first.
Okay.
So maybe you want to clear that up.
Okay.
But I love the conference names. I love that you have the XFL and the USFL and that they are different. And that like maybe this is just online. I don't know how valid this is in reality, but I like the conference like head to head.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
I think to me it really doesn't matter. I'd rather have stuff East and West have it lined up like that.
See, that's what I figure for like the not like in the trenches.
Because the thing is like you're trying to make it be a new league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to like fully embrace it, have an East, have a West, and it just be like that.
So would you do East, West, or North, South?
Either or, something like a geography like that. So.
I feel like that also, if they do something like that, I'd be definitely more okay with it if they did that and announced more teams in markets. Like they're just like, oh, we're doing East, West, but now the Defenders are actually going to be in DC. And then a majority of the time they're playing these teams that are also like close by. They're not having to fly as far. I'd love stuff like that. I love a little bit like that. I know we're probably a little bit of ways, but I'd love that. Anyway, we had the USFL championship game on ABC. I tweeted about this too, because just as an aside, I think it would have made more sense to me to have Fox do the USFL championship game and ABC to do the XFL championship game. But that's whatever.
Yeah.
In the USFL championship game,
Yep.
a surprise that only few saw coming. The Michigan Panthers took down the first win in history. Michigan Panthers beat the Birmingham Stallions 44-29. Oh, what a game!
I
was going to say Birmingham tried to claw back, couldn't. They pull Jamar Smith. Matt Corral tries to bring this team back from the brink of oblivion, but he cannot do it. Bryce Perkins is a god.
I mean, I was just surprised at how high scoring the game was. I thought the defenses were going to be able to limit stuff. But 44 points from a team, that's pretty impressive in a championship game. But when you kind of just look at the number stuff, I mean, their defense is pretty good. Their offense is pretty legit. So
I will say,
I know they're 6-4, but we can't be surprised that the Panthers are in the championship.
oh no, the Panthers were, especially with Perkins at the helm, like fully, they were very much like a top 1 or 2 team in this league every time he was like the full game starter.
Yeah.
I will say this. I do worry about the Panthers' defensive backfield.
Okay.
Like that, I feel like based on their last couple of games against Birmingham and against Houston, this Michigan Panthers, the DBs, the safety, I am worried about like a good, competent passing attack against this Panthers team.
Okay.
And then I'd also just like to put up my nomination. I know they lost in this one, but I'm nominating Skip Holtz for Coach of the Year. There are 2 options for Coach of the Year in my mind. It's got to be, and Skip Holtz is mine. I'm just going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Coach of the Year, Eric?
The guy from the Battlehawks.
Anthony Becht. So what makes Anthony Becht your Coach of the Year?
8-2 team, got him to the playoffs, in a position, battled injury, did it with a backup quarterback.
Fair. So that's the same reason why I give it to Skip Holtz. You know how they played 5 different quarterbacks this season.
Okay. That's a true point too.
And they won their conference. I mean, St. Louis had the best overall record at the end of the season in the league. The other option I would say is Shannon Harris for DC. Like for similar
notice, yeah.
Like they kept Tamu, but like Reggie Barlow was out of there. Like a week or 2 before the season. And then 2-3 games in, you lose your defensive coordinator too?
But I mean, also, then it starts Sanders.
That's true. That's a knock against them in your book. That's fair.
Huge knock.
Ugh. Speaking of which, in the XFL Conference Championship, St. Louis once again, embarrassed. They lose 18-36.
That was a beatdown, dude.
I feel like, I don't know, you and me have talked about it, and I feel like people saw this coming from a mile away over the last 3 weeks. And I understand Max Duggan was 5-0 as a starter. And I like Max Duggan. I like the energy he brings. I like the grit that he shows. I like everything about Max Duggan when it comes to being a quarterback, except for maybe the single most important thing a quarterback does, which is throw the football.
His huge ass windup.
Like, I love him as a leader. He's a great locker room guy. He's gritty, and he will do whatever he can to will your team to victory. But this man cannot throw a football.
Can't throw a rock at all.
If you took everything about him and put him in Brandon Silver's body, elite quarterback.
Brandon Silver.
He got play in this game too, but again, too little, too late. Like you're down 20-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
Also, this was St. Louis's least attended game of the season.
Why was that?
A couple reasons. I'm going to say they did really bad marketing in St. Louis this season, probably not capturing the casual audience. Another thing that I hate, tickets for the Battlehawks are like double or more than every other team.
Yeah, they'll do it.
They're charging like real ticket prices to go to see the Battlehawks.
No, that'll do it.
You can't get away with that, guys.
They'll do it. They'll do it. They'll legitimately do it.
Another disappointing season. I think I looked at the stat, Eric. If you go back to 2023 and you go playoff-like games, not only are the St. Louis Battlehawks 0-3, they got embarrassed each time.
Oof.
Like these playoff games, I don't understand. I like Anthony Becht. Again, as a coach, I like the energy he brings. I don't know how you can consistently come into the biggest game of your season so flat-footed.
Yeah,
and just with no energy.
That's not good. Could there be something like he has a foot out the door and everyone knew?
I mean, maybe I could see him taking like a tight ends coach job in the NFL, but I feel like he likes being a head coach, likes leading. And
like I'm just saying,
like if he's only gone if he wants to be. Obviously, you don't fire him. People are like, I saw people online saying like, "Oh, should he be let go? Is he coming back?" The dude, like, they lose what, like 2 or 3 games at most a year. Sometimes it's hard to get over the hump. Michigan hadn't gotten over the hump in forever.
he's not going to get fired. I mean, people are just frustrated. I mean, it is what it is. But
no coach is going to get fired this year.
I think from what I like, granted, I saw very little of this game, but it did seem like there may have been like something behind the scenes that we don't know about going on in the locker room.
Like, you wouldn't be surprised to see if he like has a job somewhere else.
Yeah. And he told those guys, and the guys are like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know,
like something. I don't know.
So my theory for that, Eric, is I feel like there are people on that team who would have preferred Brandon Silvers to get the start.
Well, maybe that's it.
That's what I think. I think it's the quarterback thing, because what we know with Becht is he gets his guy and he sticks by his guy. He did it to detriment with A.J. McCarron last year. He stuck by A.J. McCarron. A.J. McCarron goes to the conference game, but he's hurt. He's banged up. What do? They don't play very well. They lose. They get embarrassed by the Brahmas. This year, Max Duggan's been winning them games. He's been gritty, but everyone can see he cannot throw the ball. They put Brandon Silvers in. He's throwing dimes. He's looking good. The offense looks 100 times better. But he sticks with his guy.
I mean, maybe that's it. That easily could be it right there. So.
I think it's that. I think it's the quarterback issues with him.
Yeah.
But now, Eric, we are destined for a new UFL champion, no matter what. Birmingham, their first time not in a championship game since, I don't know, the 80s and the original USFL.
Which is something. I mean, props to Schultz, dude. Holtz. I mean, for the run he had, it's got to be one of the best sports dynasties in recent memory.
It's got to be, dude. They did 22, 23, and 24. A beautiful three-peat.
Also through COVID. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of little hiccups there. So,
What did you do in COVID?
Wasn't the XFL going on in COVID?
Skip Holtz wasn't involved in that, though.
Oh, I fucked up. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Jim.
Skip Holtz was in the
Jim,
COVID
sorry,
game.
Jim. My bad, Jim.
Skip Holtz was 22. Skip Holtz was 22, my friend.
Jim. My bad.
So now we have the DC Defenders taking on the Michigan Panthers. The Panthers are designated as the home team, it looks like, at least on DraftKings. Panthers are also 3-point favorites in this matchup. 50.5 points is your total, plus 136 on the money line.
What was the line? I'm sorry?
3. Panthers -3.
For the Panthers. So this is my red flag, okay? This is my red flag. They played earlier in the year, okay? 57. They basically had the same amount of plays, okay? 56 to 57. However, Michigan outgained them by 76 yards. Michigan averaged 7.2 yards per play.
Oh, Eric's internet went out.
For Red DC, only 5.7 yards. Oh,
you're back? Is Eric back?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
So, like I was saying, my thing is this. Plays were the same. Total yards, 76 plus for Michigan. Michigan averaged 7.2 yards per play to the defenders, 5.7. And they had 4 red zone attempts. My biggest thing with them is I don't know if this defender's defense is going to be able to stop the offense of the Panthers. I mean, when you look at it, they gave up 103 rushing yards per game. Are they going to be able to stop Perkins and everything he can do electrically, the running back who's
Toa Tua?
last name yards basically passing per game? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop this defense, this offense.
They won't.
I just
they
don't
won't.
know.
They will not. So DC's only hope in this one is for this game to be a shootout. But the thing is that Michigan doesn't need to worry about the run game almost whatsoever. The big discrepancy in this matchup in the last time they played, because it felt, I remember exactly how I felt watching this game. Yes, Michigan won 38-14, which is a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel like a blowout.
Yeah.
But the thing that happened is that DC couldn't get off the field on defense. Michigan's ability to run the ball against this team was...
That's what I think it is, dude. I don't think DC is going to be able to stop them at all.
They won't. The only chance DC has is to keep up with them in a shootout. And they got behind early in this one. They tried, they were kind of right there with it. And then all of a sudden, Michigan just breaks out these big runs. They could not tackle Bryce Perkins. He was slow, slippery. Toa Tua went off. They ran the ball like crazy, and Bryce Perkins is extremely efficient when he has a good run game.
Yeah.
I will say this for DC's credit. Over the last, few weeks, their run game has gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to believe. I think it's going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a shootout. Let me see. Their last big game for DC was against the Renegades. And they ran for 135 yards against, in my opinion, the best defense in the league.
Okay.
The other thing hampering the DC Defenders is I'm pretty sure they're the most penalized team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, whether it's... They're getting to a habit, and they did this against Michigan, because they would have successful drives, and then it would be a false start or a holding penalty, and it would just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tomu, to his credit, much more, everyone can talk about, whatever, he was 50% completion percentage on the season. Still threw, a shitload of yards. Like, let me take Eric. I was wrong on 1 point. He did
What's
not
that?
throw the most yards for the season. I was 150 yards off.
Unacceptable, Jim. You call yourself a sports fan? Unacceptable.
He did sit. And he probably, like, if you want to look at his stats, so his completion percentage, Eric, is only 54.4.
Garbage.
But 17 touchdowns. The next closest in touchdowns is a tie between Perez and Perkins at 9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How many interceptions do you think?
4.
Correct. The next, like, again, none of the quarterbacks have, like, less than, like, 1. Jamar Smith has 1. Dresser Wynn in 3 games had 4. Like, this is a great season for Jordan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in the DC Defenders offense.
Okay.
I kind of believe in Michigan and Bryce Perkins more.
I believe in Michigan more. I mean, like, honestly, like, what I'm going to do, I think Michigan's going to be able to run the ball. I think they're going to be able to control the clock. I'm going to take the first half under, and I'm going to take Michigan minus 30.
I'm going to take the over, 50.5. I do think this turns into a shootout. I do think, weirdly enough, this is almost home field advantage for DC. Playing in St. Louis, if that makes sense.
Why do you say that?
Because I think between these two teams, they have the most comfortability. Like, they've played in St. Louis more than these other teams.
Okay.
And I don't think they've ever lost in St. Louis. I think even going back to 2020, I don't think the Defenders have ever lost in St. Louis.
Okay.
Give me the Defenders money line. God damn it, do it. Plus 136.
Jim,
I'm gonna put my next month's rent check on Defenders money.
Jesus, Jim, come on,
At
dude.
the sports book in St. Louis.
Jim, come on, man. You don't want to be that guy.
I might be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy, Jimmy. Come on,
I might
Jimmy.
be that guy.
Come on, Jimmy.
I might be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy, Jimmy. You don't want to be that guy, Jimmy.
Oh, actually, on offense, the DC Defenders are ranked 5th in penalties. They have 73 oh, never mind. 5th from the bottom. So they're like right in the middle. There's 73 penalties, averaging 7.3 yards. They average 68 yards of penalties a game.
Okay.
The Michigan Panthers average about 39. Time of possession, obviously, Michigan and like DC are like right neck and neck on that one. Super close on first downs too. Scoring goes to Michigan. I don't know, man. Everything's telling me to take Michigan. I do think they're probably the better team. I think Bryce Perkins is probably the best player. I think Bryce Perkins will probably go on to be a backup for the Baltimore Ravens.
Makes sense.
Right?
Makes sense.
And I loved watching him at Virginia, too. I like Bryce Perkins a lot.
Yeah.
But this is Jordan Ta'amu's time. This is his chance.
Oh, my God. We're going to have a T-shirt bet on this?
This is his opportunity. Yeah, what do you want? I have a, well, I don't know. You're taller than me. I don't think my sweats will fit you. I was going to say, I have a pair of DC Defenders sweats. I need some Michigan Panthers gear.
I know, but I'm back in the Panthers. You're back in the Defenders. So it'd be
I know.
If Defenders win, I would send you a Defenders T-shirt. Michigan wins, you send me a Panthers T-shirt.
Oh, courtesy of Royal Retros.
Yeah.
Yes. Deal. Deal, Eric. Deal. I'm trying to see passing defense, too. Passing statistics. Is this defense? Yes. Passing defense. Who do you think, Eric, in the league allows the most completions?
The most completions.
In 10 games. The Defenders, again, middle of the pack. They've allowed 173 completions against 266 passes against them for 1,780 yards. 12 touchdowns. They've got 7 interceptions.
You totally cut out. My internet cut out. I didn't hear what you were.
The DC Defenders, in 10 games, they are ranked number 4, right in the middle of the pack again.
Okay.
173 passes have been completed on them out of 266 passes attempted on them for 1,780 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
What?
The Panthers, Eric, have allowed 190 completions in 308 attempts for 2,112 yards, 13 touchdowns. They've gotten 6 interceptions.
6?
Yeah, the Panthers are the worst team for allowing completions. They're the worst team for allowing passing yards. They are second to worst in allowing passing touchdowns. They are middle of the pack when it comes to completion percentage. I don't know how the UFL, I don't know how you measure efficiency ratings or yards per reception.
Mm-hmm.
Yards per reception, Michigan's also bottom 2.
Okay.
DC can pass on them. They can throw on them. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be on the Defenders.
Okay.
I'm going to be at the game. Come say hi. It's been a glorious UFL season. Eric, I actually...
Jim will buy you a beer.
If you come see me Friday night, I'll tell you where I'll be Friday night. I'll be at the Sportsbook probably. Friday night, I will be the DraftKings at Casino Queen in East St. Louis, across the river.
Okay.
I'll buy you a beer.
You'll buy the people a beer?
I'll buy the people a beer.
Okay.
It'll be a great time. Come see me. I'll also be Friday during the day. I'll be around the stadium. I'll be around St. Louis filming some videos, filming some hype videos. So just come say hi. And if you're at the game on Saturday, definitely come say hi. Mm-hmm. Love you guys. Eric, any parting thoughts? You want to know this little secret? I honestly can't wait until next week a little bit so that we can do our autopsy of the UFL 2025 season.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to do it fully next week. It might just be a championship recap. We might save that for 2 weeks from now to do a full autopsy of the entire season because I'm going to have a lot of notes. There's going to be a lot of notes, a lot of takes for this season.
A lot of hot takes.
A lot of hot takes, especially as the league stands. We also had to review our hot takes going into it. But Eric, any parting thoughts? Anything you want to say to the people as we enter to the last weekend of UFL action?
I'm hoping for a good game. I'm looking forward to diving into the CFL more.
It's got to be better than last year's game.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It can't not be better than last year's game. It has to be better. Thank you all. Thank God it's on ABC as well. Thank God it's on ABC. Love you guys. We'll see you next week for another episode of Spring Fever. Bye-bye.